Okay, so this is going to be a solo episode where I'm going to demo the latest version of our AI writing tool, and we've given it a name. It's called WaveWriter, WaveWriter.ai, and we're opening this up to a few beta users to use this for real and give us feedback. I'm going to give you a quick background of it. If you want the larger background, you can watch our previous episode and we'll link it into the bottom here where we introduce the whole concept of it. The idea of WaveWriter in general is to have the first AI tool that actually understands the substance behind your product and products, services, and brand in general. What do I mean by that? A lot of AI writing tools let you upload a few past pieces, but what they do from that is just learn your brand voice. So it'd be like how you write, and it wants to imitate that. The problem with that is when you do something like give it an outline and ask it to turn it into a draft, where does it get the arguments? That's what I mean by substance. Where does it get the arguments behind that to decide what to say? Those matter. And our argument, no pun intended, is that that's actually the number one thing that matters. Like brand voice, you can change the writing tone. That's really easy. You can even write it in the wrong tone and then upload it yourself into ChatGPT or Claude and change the tone. That's not a big deal. But what separates good marketing copy or pieces or content or writing from bad is what it says substantively. What separates it is what is the arguments, is how compelling it is. What are you saying? How are you positioning your products? Which features are you choosing to emphasize? What benefits are you pairing with them? And so to be able to do that well, you need to understand the business. And so in WaveWriter, the entire thesis is that first you upload a bunch of pieces of content about your product, brand, services, the value propositions, the differentiators. And from that, it can produce marketing content. So let's get into it. I'm going to demo a few features of it so you can see how it works. Mind you, it's super bare bones. And this is at a beta level, and we're looking for beta users to use it. Now, the functionality and what it actually substantively produces is really nice. Okay, so this is inside WaveWriter in one of the brands, and you can add a ton of brands. We have a bunch of our clients in here that we've sort of been testing and tweaking this with. And the UX is super bare bones, right? This is, we're doing a private beta to some folks that raise their hand. Now, the key is once you create a brand, you upload your sources. This is what I was talking about. Is in our case, we're going to show some examples for our own business, Grow and Convert. And we've uploaded key things like our Pain Point SEO article, our foundation, right? Why we started, and a bunch of other blog posts. And it then, from that, creates the brand summary. I'm going to go over this quickly because we already went through it in detail in our previous video. But so that you don't have to go back and watch that one. The brand summary is WaveWriter telling you what it understands of your brand. So it says what is Grow and Convert, the service, features of the service. It has understood that Pain Point SEO is like the number one thing, interview-based, promotion, customers and use cases. It sort of confirms from that. So B2B SaaS companies, B2C, service businesses, other alternatives, other agencies or in-house teams or freelance writers. Again, Wave came up with this on its own. I don't think we've edited a single word in here. And so, but you can if you want. So the way to use it is you start by uploading your sources. And by the way, for this private beta, we will walk through this with you. So we'll do a demo, we'll get you set up, we'll add your sources. I'll ask you for sources ahead of time. We'll add that in, we'll create the brand summary and you can see it. And you have the ability to kind of share this around and copy, but you can also click edit and edit this because look, we're not saying it's perfect, but it so far is very impressive to us. But if you want to, and you're like, oh, there's this nuance where we want to add this feature, or this thing is more important to that, you can edit this as you wish and then save And then this becomes WaveWriter's understanding of your business. And from that, like the actual substance, note, we're not talking about brand guidelines or voice or any of that stuff. We just, so far in WaveWriter, we don't even discuss that. It naturally, when it produces content drafts or what we're going to explain, super briefs or social posts, it naturally will imitate some of the sources and you can show it. So we don't need to talk about like it uses an authoritative voice and business casual and all that stuff. Although business casual, I think, is more just how you dress. So that's the brand summary and that's the foundation of WaveWriter. Now, I'm going to walk through 3 examples: super briefs, content drafts, and social posts. That's what it can produce today. So again, for this private beta, we're looking for people who are regularly producing either SEO content and want to create outlines and understanding of SEO keywords, or just regular content, which is the majority of people who follow us, is you're probably producing content. And then social posts is kind of a cool feature as well, where you can take content or an outline and create like LinkedIn posts and Twitter threads, helps you promote stuff. So super briefs we're going to start with, and we went into it in detail again in that previous video, but I want to cover a few things. Back then, so here we did B2B content agencies. What I'm going to do is create a new keyword, a keyword that I'm just going to make up that's something that Grow and Convert could go after. So we can go after something like straightforward content marketing agencies, or we can even do best content marketing agencies. And so what a super brief is doing while it's generating, I can explain this, is a super brief is analyzing the keyword from an SEO perspective with Wave's understanding of your business as per the sources we uploaded and the brand summary that it generated. And so it is actually, while we're talking, in the background, Googling this keyword, looking up what's already ranking, ascertaining intent. It uses our Grow and Convert's Pain Point SEO methodology to categorize keywords into these buckets of intent, specifically category keywords, bottom of funnel, which this would be. And we can see whether WaveWriter correctly categorizes this as a category keyword. Comparison and alternative, that would be things like, this versus that company. It's not something an agency would write. And then jobs to be done would be more like a how-to or top of funnel. And then it analyzes that, and then it starts, and we'll show you, it gives you ideas of how to pitch your company. And that's only made possible by the fact that it understands your business. So again, unless you're using an AI tool that does that, it's not going to know how to pitch, grow, and convert. Now, it could make it up. You could just ask ChatGPT, even if it doesn't understand your business and you haven't uploaded a bunch of stuff and you haven't trained it to understand stuff the way the brand summary works here, it'll just make up stuff. AI will make up anything and say, yeah, like pitch your business this way. But with WaveWriter, it actually knows the details of your business, right? We look back at the brand summary and it says like, oh, Grow and Convert uses Pain Point SEO and these are the things. And again, you have the ability to like tweak and edit this if you want. So it like understands your detailed features. If you have a software, some product-based business, unlike us in this case having a service-based business, you can go feature by feature, use cases. It knows what kind of customers you're looking for. And then when you come back, where were we? Best content marketing agencies. And so now it's finished generating, and we'll analyze it. Now it can actually like understand the details of it. So what does it have in the super brief? Keyword analysis. So it's using, again, Grow and Convert's methodology and saying this is a category keyword, which indicates the searcher is actively looking for content marketing services. So that falls under bottom of funnel, etc. So that helps, if you're handing this to a writer or even to yourself, it helps set the stage. Because here's a counterexample. We did this as a counterexample. What is content marketing? What is content marketing is not a category keyword. It's not bottom of funnel at all. That's top of funnel. And it correctly identifies it and says this is top of funnel, it's educational and informational, and they're looking to understand basic concepts about content marketing rather than actively seeking to purchase it. Correct. So then that means what you're going to be writing is different. You don't pitch, grow, and convert here. You just explain what content marketing is. But you do in the example we just created, best content marketing agencies. And then it goes deeper. There's a section called search intent that goes deeper into this. So which of the brand's personas, ideal customer personas or ICPs, are searching for this. Marketing directors, managers, etc. And you can see some growing convertisms in here already for us. You can see that it's understood our business and it's doing this specific to the brand that we're on, in that it says marketing managers or B2C companies struggling to convert their website traffic into customers, right? That's because it's doing this for growing convert. And the question is, which of the brand's ideal ICPs is searching for this? The pain points. It then does SERP analysis. So it's looked at, I think the top 10, don't hold me on this, I should know, but I think pieces on the SERP. It's like downloaded them or like the first 1,000 words of them and understood the patterns. So what is ranking? It's dominated by list style blog posts that rank and review various content marketing agencies, right? That's true. You can Google this yourself and see. There are some guides that provide criteria. What are the patterns? So they provide detail, they create evaluation criteria for selecting the agencies. What are the weaknesses in the SERP right now? They lack this, there's limited that. And then it kind of gives you the actual top 3 results. And then we added this fun section that sort of can get you or your writer, if you're handing this to a writer, thinking through this of like, what's the safest content format and like a unique or contrarian format. So you can say the safest would be a well-researched list post of top agencies, duh. But it also then suggests something more creative. A unique approach could be an interactive decision guide where you start with a quiz. It provides a framework. It shows case studies like this would be cool. Now, it's unique. It would take a lot of work, but that kind of gets your brain thinking, or the writer's brain thinking, like, what else could we do? Then, like I mentioned before, it does detailed analysis of exactly how you can pitch your company, your product, your service for that particular keyword, title options. And then we've trained WaveWriter on multiple different styles of blog intros, which we think is really important. We think blog intros are pretty important. And so it then looks at the keyword, it looks at your company, and it picks a couple of them and says, here are different types of intros. Now, we've given it some names. We may later kind of just say intro option 1, intro option 2, but we have names for these, like multiple different types, saying, hey, content marketing agencies can mean different things for other people. But you can pause the video and look at this. What I love about this is these are not just nonsense fluff intros. These don't sound like all these regular fluff blog posts or AI generated slop. These are intros that are based on WaveWriter learning from our help, how we write intros and what we consider a good intro. So like this is, you could actually go with this. It doesn't mean it's meant to be used like copied and pasted, but this is like concrete ways to position these pieces. So that's why we call this a super brief, this section, because we're kind of playing on the content brief that people hand over. But the problem with regular content briefs is that most brands hand this content brief. The content briefs are so shallow and surface level. They'll be like, make sure paragraphs are no longer than this many sentences and the total word count should be this, or they just spit out a bunch of H2s from SEO software. But this is going much deeper than that. It's saying like, how can we pitch it? What are the weaknesses in the SERP? Here are actual concrete introduction ideas to like intros. You can go with this and start really being like, oh yeah, I can angle the piece this way. This sparks an idea. All of this, like I said, only possible because it's understood your business. And then it outlines a full detailed outline. Intro, section 1, section 2. This is how you this outline is simple because the keyword sort of is just begging for a list of agencies, so it's pretty straightforward. But you can see in some others, like we can go and see in what is content marketing. It has something more substantive here of like definition, why most strategies fail, 3 types. And then look, even for what is content marketing, it brings in grow and converts thing, of grow and converts angle, how conversion-focused content marketing works. I would argue that if you did not produce any other AI tool that does not first understand your business for helping you outline a content piece for the keyword, what is content marketing, would absolutely not have a section called how conversion-focused content marketing works for grow and convert. This is only because it understands grow and convert. That's super briefs. We're really excited about it. Content drafts. For content drafts, I'm going to first just focus on an outline I created. The idea of the content graph is that you then can feed it an outline. It can be the outline directly from the super brief, or in this case, it was just an outline I created really quickly. It's for a hypothetical blog post on e-commerce blog strategy, and I want to just go over how bare bones this outline is, and then I'll show you what WaveWriter created so you can see what it can do. So again, we're writing this from Grow and Convert's perspective. It has typos in it. It's sort of like intentionally quick. Like this took me 5 minutes to create, of just like, what would an angle and outline be for Grow and Convert writing a post for e-commerce blog strategy? I picked e-commerce only because we already have posts on SaaS content strategy and B2B, which is in the sources. So I felt like that wasn't fair. Like WaveWriter has a source on that already. So let's do something that's not in the sources. So I just picked e-commerce. So I have, the angle is e-commerce companies limit their SEO to shopping pages, like the product page, but they only use their blog for random top of funnel or non-SEO content, like a style guide. And so what they're missing out on is ranking for non-branded keywords that only articles can rank for. I want to give some examples and say none of these e-commerce companies go after things like this. That's what the article will talk about. And this is kind of like the intro, and I just outlined the first H1 section. And I stopped because we're just doing this for the demo. And this section kind of asks WaveWriter to fill in a lot of blanks, because it just says, what is Pain Point SEO? Let's just define it, give the definition. Category keywords are important, give some examples, give some competitor and alternative examples, and give some jobs to be done examples. Very bare bones. Again, if you fed something like this into just like native or raw ChatGPT, good luck with the output. You can only fill this in if you know about the company and what it does. So now let's look at what Wave created. So we're now inside the content draft section. And so this is me taking that exact outline. The outline is here. You can see you can pause if you want to double check. It's exactly what I put in there. And let's look at what Wave wrote. So it balances these two things, where what we've trained it to do is, if an outline has a complete thought, just keep the complete thought. Don't go crazy and write random nonsense, hallucinated stuff, which is like a classic, just fluff, random nonsense, is a classic complaint of AI writing. So here I have like maybe a half-written sentence. It's not fully written, but the thought is complete. E-commerce companies limit their SEO to their shopping pages, the product page ranks for keywords around that exact product name, etc. So again, it's not a complete sentence, but it's sort of a complete thought, and it turns that into a complete sentence and doesn't go crazy and do a bunch of other nonsense. So it's kind of key characteristic number one. Most e-commerce companies limit their SEO strategy to product and category pages. Their product pages rank for keywords around exact product names and model numbers. Their category pages target broad terms like women's shoes or kitchen appliances. It brings that to life. And so I even said like comma, etc. And it knew that I wanted to give some extra examples, and it did that. The category pages target broad terms like women's shoes or kitchen appliances. And then even this is another example. It says, then they use their blog for random top of funnel content like style guides. And look, it says, I say give more examples, and it does that. They use their blog for random top of funnel content that has little to no connection to driving sales. It adds this kind of copy. It's direct, it's concise, but it sticks to the message that I had. It doesn't go off and hallucinate with random nonsense. And then it gives the examples that I wanted. Seasonal style guides, behind the scenes company stories, general lifestyle, broad educational pieces like the history of denim or 10 ways to style a scarf. Those are great examples. And then we'll continue, right? You can read the rest of the intro. But look at how it then can fill in the blanks based on its knowledge of your business. So in step one, apply Pain Point SEO to e-commerce. I say Pain Point SEO is given a definition. That's all I provided it. And it does it perfectly in my mind, or very, very well. At Grow and Convert, we've developed an approach called Pain Point SEO that prioritizes content around high buying intent keywords, even if they have lower search volume. That's the core thesis of Pain Point SEO. And then it defines it. So maybe this is a little bit repetitive. You can cut it, but this is like usable. It's very, very usable. And it can only know this because it knows your business. And then I ask it, give it examples of category keywords, competitor, and jobs to be done. And it does that. And you can read the details, but look at these examples. category keywords are critical for e-commerce. And then it defines what a category keyword is, search terms that directly correspond to the product category you wanted to sell, but with an added layer of specificity that indicates purchase intent. The specificity is an optional layer, so I would do an edit here, but that's fine. And so category keywords with layers of specificity include searches like, great, a bunch of examples. These are spot on. And look, notice how each of these keywords combines a product category with specific criteria that narrows it down. Like this is like substantive discussion. Now, I may change some things, like first just talk about category keywords in general, or explain why specificity leads to blog posts as opposed to product pages. Like the intent of WaveWriter is not just, oh, copy and paste is literally perfect. If you're using AI writing like that, you're not doing content marketing well. But this is just at a level that we have not been able to reproduce in any other AI writing tool. Same for competitor alternatives and jobs to be done. So this is drafting. We think this can draft content based on an outline you give it at just a level that's beyond other AI writing tools. And then finally, we have a fun little feature or output that we created called social post, because we find that that is useful. And social post, you can do two things. You can take and give it a specific outline. Oh, that one I never actually gave it anything. You can give it a specific outline, like I did this for Pain Point LLMO, which is a recent article that we created. And I gave it a specific outline, and it sort of gives you, I actually ended up almost just writing the piece. It'll just give you examples. Or in a previous version, I at some point just gave it content only. So you can just give it, here, I'll show you. You can just give it example content. And so you can just copy and paste a blog post and say, create 3 LinkedIn posts from this. And there it does that. So that's the previous version. There was no outline. I just gave it content. And so it just reads your blog post and it creates 3 LinkedIn posts from it. And you can pause and read it. And what you can do here is give it a style of your LinkedIn posts. So if I create a new one, so create a new social post, you can either give it the outline or example content. And it's looking for a style of LinkedIn post that you can put into your sources. So here, I created one called Devesh's LinkedIn post, and I gave it the label style source. And again, for any of the beta users, we'll walk through this and help you do this. And I just copied and pasted a bunch of my old posts into this, and I used the label, I checked the box use as a style source, which is for LinkedIn. So then when we go in to this social post feature, it will create a social post based on in kind of the style, because people on social media, they post in really different voices and styles. So you should upload kind of the style you want. It'll imitate that style, but in terms of the substance, it'll either follow the outline you've given it or use example content. And again, like all the other outputs, it will use its understanding of your business. So you can give it half-written stuff and it'll fill in the blanks based on its understanding of your business. So we're super excited about this. We're already using it in our own work. We think that this is just a leg above what you can do in other AI writing tools. And we'd love to have a few people test this out. So reach out, email us if you want to be a beta user. We're only accepting a few. And we're really excited.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. You can also get the audio-only versions of these shows wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow us at growandconvert.com/newsletter for any articles and updates for when these videos come out.